Lima Gatos katuig nga Pagtoo of 500 years of faith, the celebration of the 500 years of Christianity that the Spaniards brought to our islands 500 years ago. For our episode today, I would like to talk about laborem exercens. It's a Latin word, makurihilwason. So laborem exercens. No? This is an encyclical of Pope John Paul II in 1981. What does it mean? What does laborem exercens mean? It is Latin that means through work, pinaagi trabaho. An encyclical written by Pope John Paul II, Saint John Paul II, our beloved and our favorite saint and Pope John Paul II in 1981. Iya ingin surat in 1981 on human work. Hiunong trabaho hitawo. It is part of the larger body of the Catholic social teaching, which traces its origin to Pope Leo XIII's 1981 encyclical Rerum Novarum. So ining encyclical ni Pope Francis, no, sorry, not Pope Francis, but Pope Saint John Paul II, laborem exercens, through work, about human work. Upod ini hitutdo hit simbahan, paghatag di rin la importansya, kundi dignidad, di trabaho hitawo. This is very beautiful, and napili ko liwat ini nga topic because last June 26 we celebrated another saint, a modern saint, and one of my favorite saints is Saint Jose Maria Escriva de Balaguer, who was inspired by God nga itutdo niya nga itrabaho usa nga paagi. It's actually the means to holiness. Usa nga paagi para itawo maging baraan, maging sagrado, para itawo hingad to halangit, makadangat ngadto halangit. The ordinary things that we do, that's work, no? Magsilhig, paglaba, panhugas, pagluto, pamirinsa. Aside from the professional work, no, that other people do, those who have professional work, nasa loob ng opisina, from the highest ranking, from the boss to the lowest ranking employee, no? Sugad diri haamon ha korte, you can say that in my court ako hataas rank, no, being the presiding judge, and then it pinakahabubo would be our utility worker, and then there are workers in between, no, when you talk of ranks. But look, Saint Jose Maria, Saint John Paul II are not talking of ranks. In fact, siring ni Saint Jose Maria, diri importante kung ano't imranggo. Diri importante ka itrabaho hit usa nga pinakahataas, diri hit organization, diri hit opisina, will be just as valuable as the work of the lowest rank or lowest paid employee. Pareho la ira ka importante. Trabaho it usa nga pinakahataas, pinakamayor, direct opisina is actually the same. It has the same value. It has the same value. Let me point that out. Your worth is the same as the work of a lowly paid employee. Janitor, for example, o pinakahabobo nga ranggo nga tao. But what gives value to the work that we do? The love that we put in the work that we do. Ipaghigugma nga hinahatag didahit aton trabaho. When we do our work well, para makapagserbi kitahin maupay nga ngadto aton ikasitaw. That's what makes our work important, and that what gives value to our work. It's not the rank. This is very revolutionary ini nga tutdo ni Saint Jose Maria, but this was adopted by during the Second Vatican Council, because what else can we offer up to God, di ba? Ano pa ba at pwede mahihalad nga ito atong Ginoo kundi itrabaho, atong trabaho kada adlaw, day in and day out. As I said, by work we refer to work in general, not just to work in the office, not just to work in the company. not just to work in establishments, no, but trabaho nga gimbubuhat hit usa nga tawo o hit kada tawo kada adlaw, panhugas, pagluto, pamirensa, paglinis, pagsilhig. They are just as valuable as the work of an executive nga hataas it ranggo, tinitingala, hataas it suhol, nga damo it na look up, no, to this person, kay daray ka hataas it iaranggo. And I really find this liberating ini nga tutdo ni Saint Josemaria nga nit aton simbahan, because as I said, work as a sanctification, as a means for holiness, is now accepted, has been adopted by the Catholic Church. But at the time when Saint Josemaria introduced this, that work is means for holiness, diri pa nakakarawat nga konsepto, no? Because he was actually told nga, you know, you came a century early, 100 years early, because it was revolutionary nga tawo hinga nga to halangit diri la kinahanglan pagsulod seminaryo, pagsulod pagkapadi o pagkamadre o paging relihiyoso, kundi mga ordinaryo nga tawo like you and me, no, nga dire religious, nga dire nasulod ka madre, na dire man nasulod ka padi, kay dire met asyat aton bokasyon, can be holy, can go to heaven by doing our work extraordinarily well. And here's the key, here's the secret: for love of God and neighbor, for love of God and neighbor. Siyempre, when we love God, we show it, no, to our neighbors, because love of God is love for neighbor. I mean, nasaghira, how can you love God nga diri ta kinikita? Kung diri ta uunan untet paghigugma it atong Ginoo nga diri ta kinikita. Kung diri kita mahigugma hit mga tawo nga aadit at paligid, hit at hagrani, nga hinatag ha aton ang Ginoo para makaupo dira, whether at home, in the family, or in the office, or in the community, or in the town, or in the province, or in the country that we belong to. How can we love God if we don't love them? So, put it in another way, someone said nga we love God, who is invisible, nga diri ta kinikita, by loving others who are visible. So, pinapakita tit atong paghigugma it atong Ginoo nga diri ta kinikita, paagi it atong paghigugma it atong ikasitawo nga kinikita naton. Makes sense, right? Perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. So, what is this laborem exercens? It's about the dignity of work. Yung unong dignidad, yung trabaho. Okay, I hope it's clear that when we talk of work, we're not talking of the rank or the position, no? Diriin position, diriin ranggo, kundi trabaho nga ginbubuhat it tawo, maordinaryo man nga tawo o masikat man nga tawo, no? It's the work, no? It trabaho that comes from our hands, nga huhulasan ta, pinanmumutlaw kita, and then we exert, because we have to exert effort, kay oray man trabaho nga mahigda kala. And then masring ka, okay, magluluto ako, mahigda la ako. Bisan kung maada ta rice cooker, maghuhugas, bubutangan tagad gihapin bugas, di ba? Tapos huhugasan ta, and then bubutangan tahin the right amount of water before we cook it, di ba? So rice cooker net magluluto, pero may tapagya pagbubuhaton, pareho man daman hit washing machine, di ba? Sano bisan kun machine hiya makina, diri na kita kikinuskuson, pagbunak, Pero may talaga pagbubuhaton. Kukuhaon tayo mga bunakan. And then pag we have to separate, pag iibahon ta, di color nga dire di color, mga busag, nga mga panapton, nga mga kasuotan, dire tayo tatampo, hit mga di color, kay bangin mahugawan at aton mga busag nga mga panapton, t-shirt, bado, kung ano pa man. So, hihiwalayin natin. Hiwalay na kung hiwalay. Yung di color, yung puti sa may kulay. And so, we have to exert effort. And then, ibubutang tagihapon, direct washing machine, kukuanan tayong tubig, and then we put the sabon, no? And then we turn on the setting, no, nga karuyag naton. So there we work, but we have the machine to help us. So dire na ora-ora butlaw, kaya dire naman kita magkukuskos, no? The machine will do that for us by spinning and spinning and spinning, no? But we still work. We still have to do something. So there is dignity, no? We were called to work. And we have to disabuse our minds nga kung waray pakasala, hi Adan nga hi Eva, di rita na kinahanglan magtrabaho because everything will be there, provided for. But that is wrong. Alam nyo, ang kaibahan lang, ang pakasala ni Adan nga hi Eva, diri nga, ay tao diri na magtatrabaho, diri na maghuhulas, mabubutlawon, kundi at the time, sorry. Ang kaibahan han work during the time nga ang aton mga first parents were still in the grace of God, under the graces of God. Saan hira makasala. Diri mabutlaw ang pagtrabaho. Sige, ira pagtrabaho dito ang paradise, in the Garden of Eden, no? Sige, ira pagtrabaho. Sige, syempre kay for example, kinahanglan magsilig, ngin nagkakatata na mga dahon, di ba? Kinahanglan magluto, kung kareg nira kumaon, kinahanglan to pick the fruits from the tree if they want to eat. So nagtatrabaho lagya pira, but diri ira binubutlaw. Waray hulas. And that's the difference now after the fall of our first parents. Kinahanglan panhulasan kita. Kinahanglan naabat kita yan butlaw, panhulas. Darakay may ada na original sin. May ada na sala. Kay darahan pa kasalahan aton kag anak. So that's the difference. But the point here is, from the beginning, God has actually gifted man with work. Regalo init Ginoo ini nga trabaho. Ngan asyait nga may ada niya dignidad. May niya dignidad. Ano't buod signon? When we look at work, kinahanglan kulawan ta, itawo nga nagtatrabaho. Dire it resulta iya trabaho. Kundi of course, it's important also, di ba? I mean, like, hikita nga nangungopisina kita, nga nananarabaho kita, dire ha opisina, ha korte, or other establishments, dire negosyo, kinahanglan maupay it resulta it atong trabaho. Pero pinaka-importante, natong kulawan, itawo nga nagtatrabaho more than the result. Actually, the result will follow if we take care of the person doing it, if we take care of the laborer, if we take care of the worker, who is a person with dignity. Kung upayon tayo pagtrato hini nga tawo nga nagtatrabaho, kung tatagan tahin maupay nga suhol ngan work environment, no? Delikado at iya gintatrabahoan, may ada niya mga benefits and privileges. May nga ni, iba-iba kada kumpanya, but I apprentice and estudyante pala ako, nag-aaram ako law, nag-apprentice ako in usa nga law office. They provide free lunch. May ada libre nga pagkaon para tira mga workers o di ka libre nga kape para diri man hinga turog. So it's also good, di ba? Para diri man hinga turog itira mga workers, but at the same time ano hira productive because they're awake. And they are and they feel energized, no, to continue working. So yan, mga ganyang privileges in a certain law school also, they are provided kay they're provided with food or snacks. Siguro diri man, dinner kay syempre magasto liwat ito, pero kahit snacks, no, something to tide them over while waiting for their proper dinner. Kay dahil law school gabi it mga classes. So it mga professors makadto law school, masunod law school, kahuman it era daytime job, which is their full-time job. Kay kami liwat ng mga nagtutudot mga law schools, part-time job la namon ito, and we do that after office. Kay sugada ako sa korte, diri man ako tutuyangan it Supreme Court to work during the day because it will compete with my job. We are only allowed a certain number of hours, no, to teach, to work part-time, and it's limited actually to teaching. Di kami pwede mag-moonlight, mag-abogado kahumanit opisina, no, but we're allowed to teach, no, for a limited period of time. And then yun yung sabi ko, in some law schools, I know of one, I can mention it because that's my alma mater, Ateneo. They provide snacks for their professors para liwat may energy magtutdo. Kaya makuring pagtutdo ng inaaraba Timotean. So, there, I mean, the point is, pinanginginano ta it aton mga workers, it aton mga laborers. That's the whole point. Because they are human beings. We're not just interested in the result. So, galit magtutdo. Basta matutdo anim, makapag ma-meet them and hours where you're supposed to teach, regardless kung pinubutlaw ka na, regardless kung nagugutom ka na, basta buhatala at imangay pagbuhaton. I mean, that's yun yung sabi ni Pope John Paul II din hihit iya encyclical Laborem Exercens, kunta maiwasan natin yan. Kay that's the danger, diri ta na kinikita it dignidad hitawo. Pareho man daman hit laborers, no, mga binata o mga workers, in a construction company, for example, or aton mga kasambahay, our helpers at home. How do we treat them? Do we treat them with dignity? For example, pagkaon. Pareho ba't ira kinakaon? Atong kinakaon? Kay may iba nga mga employers, and actually this is rampant, nga inaabat, nga ginaagian atong mga OFWs, dito ira mga gintatrabahoan abroad, iba pagkaon nira kontra pagkaon itira mga employers. Pero sige, ayaw na kita paharayo, din hilaane kita at aton nasod. No, do we let them eat the food that we eat? Pareho ba ira kinakaon hit atong kinakaon? O may la nira iba nga pagkaon? So I was thinking parang dog food, no? Iba pagkaon hit ayam. But the thing is, danay ngani mamarasa pagkaon hit ayam kontra pagkaon hit tawo. Danay ngani mas special pagkaon hit ayam kontra pagkaon hit tawo. I saw this the first time when I first went abroad to study. Nag-grocery kami. Hala, puno ang cart. Ang push cart. This was in Holland, no? So Dutch. Punuin mga dog food. Ang iya push cart. Kaya iya kaupod ha balay, ang iya best friend, ang iya companion is a dog. Kaupay ang iya pagkaon. Hikita, kumusta ipagkaon hit aton mga workers, no? Hikita marasa steak or karne hit at pagkaon o isda sigunta may ada pa vegetable, and then may tapa dessert. Pero kulawi, ano it pagkaon at mga workers, it aton mga helpers, bulad, ginamos, no? So there is something wrong there. May ada kinahanglan ta pagbaguhon o pag-estudyuhan and ngan pagliwton, because when we do that to our workers, direkta nire-respeto at ira dignidad nga tawo hira. My point is, I mean, yes, I will have to advocate for this. So we have to treat them, give them the same food that we eat. It iba nga ni pinapaupod nira pangaon, igin uupod nira pangaon it ira helpers. That's very good. That's very good, which means na you treat them like they are part of the family. Membro liwat ira pamilya. I was just thinking, like, kami, in the probinsya, we do have helpers, but not in the city. We work on our own. Kami nagluluto, naghuhugas, but our helpers come during the weekend. Yes, they come during the weekend, paglaba, paglinis, and yun. But, parehot ang pagkaon, yes, parehot ang pagkaon. Kita more helpers, but they eat separately from us, no? They eat separately from us. Parehot ang pagkaon, pero naibahiraham. Una, naaawod hira. Naawod hira, umupod, o dumungan ha amit pagkaon. And in the province, for example, the other reason is puno na ang lamis, karami pala. So they eat separately from us, but they eat the same food. That I can say. No, kung ano tam kinakaon, asya da matira kinakaon. And I'm glad nga suwal hitit amon pagtratar hit amon katulong. Pero there are many things also that we need to improve on. Pinapapahuway tabahira, tinatagan tabahirahin oras para makapamahuway, o may ada nga ni, may naglalaksi, it ira rest period, gimpapatrabaho talaga pero o sige magpahinga ka dyan habang namamalansya ka. That's a joke, pero some people do that. So let's not do that. No, let's not do that. Let's treat our laborers, our workers as human beings, because that's who they are, that's what they are. Ayaw ta hingalimti nga mga tao hira nga may ada dignidad. Salit irespeto ta hira it atong pagtratar ha ira kinahanglan aada it pagrespeto man exalt hit era dignidad as human beings, no? As human beings, because di kitet maaram nga bangin it hirangani mas hiuo na hirang hingat halangit kontra haaton ini nga mga the lowly paid workers, you know, the low ranking employees in our offices, in our companies, in our businesses. They might even go to heaven faster than us. And they will pray for us para hingadto kita halangit. Why? Because as I said, what is important is the love that we put in the work that we do. It paghigugma nga hina binubutang ta ini dinhet aton trabaho, ngan ini nga aton trabaho ini hahalad naton ngadto hit Ginoo, pagbulig ngan ginbubuhat at aton trabaho, pagbulig hit aton ikasitawo. So those are the key words, no? We should look at work as a service to others, and as an act of love for God, no? Usain nga konkreto pagpakita it aton paghigugma it aton Ginoo when we do our work the best we can for the love of God and neighbor. So that's the dignity of work. No, ayaw ta hingalimti, no? And let's take another look at the way we ourselves do our work and the way we treat others, no? Who work for us, those who work for us. There's so much, no? There's so much that we can improve on ourselves, on the way we do our work. Tikangita it atong kalugaringon, no? Do I do my work well? Do I do it for love of God? Do I exercise or practice justice and charity with my work, no? do I, like for example, higita nga mga employees, do I meet the 8-hour work that is expected of me, or nasulod ak atrasado na nagawas at temprano pa, no? There are many who are like that, or nasulod ak on niyan la ngin suhol ngin sweldo, and then the rest of the week or the rest of the month dire ako kikita on the opisina. Let's not do that, no? We're not acting with justice, we're not acting with charity, and we will be responsible, no, for our actions. Kung yan na tinotolerate la iton aton opisina, aton employers, there's a God, no, to whom we have to account. Hit nga tanan nga aton mga binuhatan, because at the end of our lives, our Lord will ask us, did you love me? And Lord, I love you, but did you show it in the way you work? Did you show that love for me in the way you work? And if we did not, dapat aton pagtunon hit aton Ginoo. So that's work, no? Let's take care of our work, and let's take care of our workers, of our employers. Dignity of work. And then Pope St. John Paul II also talk about the rights of workers. One is to full employment, no? Do we have jobs for people, or maray mga trabaho asya nga maray pinangangaon because we don't have enough jobs for them. It is the duty, no, of government to provide jobs for its people, Binati, I don't know kung namati ka mo han inaugural speech kanya na aton bagong presidente, Presidente Bongbong Marcos. He emphasized, no, employment. In-emphasize niya ang employment. So let's see nga buhaton ini niya kay kinahanglan nit aton mga tawo in trabaho, para masustain ni right era kalugaringon at era pamilya. Gan kung pwede nga ni dire na mag-abroad, no? Kung pwede dire na mag-abroad, because how is that possible if we have enough jobs in our country, no? Then let's pray, no, nga ma-achieve naton iton para mag-abroad, magtrabaho abroad. It will be a choice. Diri na dara kay napipiritan lahira kay waray man trabaho dinhi ato nasod. Kinahanglan nira gumawas even if it's risky, hirarayo-hirat era pamilya, and there are many social costs. Maaram kita hit mga Filipino who work abroad and are separated from their families, from their spouse, from their children, no? So full employment. Let's work on this. This is very important nga magpakatrabaho it mga tao, because it's part of our nature to work, and it's part of our dignity nga may ada ta trabaho. Kaitawo nga waray trabaho, I can say nga diri kompleto, diri puno, diri complete and full it iya dignidad. Pero hin kinuhaan tahiya, inibanan tit iya dignidad kun waray tamahihatag nga trabaho hin usa nga tawo. That's how important work is. That's how important work is for us, kada usa nga tawo. Because it's part of our dignity, it forms an integral part of our dignity, and it is a means to holiness. Saring ni Saint Jose Maria Escriva, no? Usain nga paagi nga maging baraan kita nga mahingad to kita halangit. Ini nga pagtrabaho, it aton trabaho. Okay, wages and benefits, no? So unfortunately, mga suhol, benepisyo, kulang kita. You will notice that aton mga nurses, aton mga kabataan nga karoyag mag-nurse, ngadto diretso ha abroad, it ira ginuna-hunaan, nag-i-eskwela hiray nursing para makapag-abroad. Kay habobo, it's so din he. And I have seen that is workers, when I was a student in London, I was working at the Philippine National Bank in London. Harayo, and we have a special loan program for Filipino nurses. Harayo ang irasuhol ha, dito ha London, ha UK, kumpara rin irasuhol din ha Pilipinas. Like, makuri, labi na kung may ni mga estudyante, may ni mga kabataan, and you want to provide a good future for your children. Makuri. Kinahanglan napiritan hirap pag-abroad. Maupay na lang, kaya dito ha UK may nira program in family integration. Pwede nin pagdadon itong pamilya ngadto United Kingdom, London. And it's the same in the US. May nam kababayan, kaurop dan pangani, nga nakuha hiya as a nurse in the US, nga nahiupod niya pamilya. And that's how it should be. Kay makuri it pamilya nga nagwawatak-watak, mahagrayo at kada usa. Because we need each other. No? We need each other. So, usa it nga concern ini nga immigration and work. Tiniha ato na Pilipinas, many Filipinos work abroad, as I said, without thinking of the risk, dara kay makuri it kabutangan dinhi. So, this is our program, Lima ka Gatos katuig ang Pagtoo, laborem exertions through work, and we will continue the discussion on this topic in our next episode. So, thank you very much for watching our program, and see you again next time. Bye! God bless.